Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Before we begin today, I would like to say that this video is not sponsored by Micro Center. This phone stand was designed to be used with one of their products, the Inland Wireless Charger 15 watts. However, I chose this because it was the cheapest wireless charger I could find on the market. That being said, Micro Center did donate $250 to my classroom in order to buy supplies, so I would like to thank them to that. With that being said, let's get into the video. In order to make our phone stand, we are going to be using Tinkercad's code blocks. This is great because I can show you everything that I do step by step. The first part of the phone stand that we're going to be working on is the main body. In order to make the body of our phone stand, we'll first drag in a polygon shape. We'll open up this menu, and we're going to set the sides of our polygon to 3. After that, we're going to drag in a scale XYZ command, and we're going to set the X scaling to be 8.1, the Y scaling to be 8.1, and the Z scaling to be 3.75. Now we'll go ahead and drag in another polygon. We're going to change this one into a hole by clicking the gray circle. We'll set the sides to 3. And then we'll drag in another scale XYZ command. For this one, I'm going to set the X scaling to be 6, the Y scaling to be 6, and the Z scaling to be 3.75. Now we'll go ahead and drag in a move command, and we're going to move to a Y of 10. After this, we'll drag in a create group command. And then we will come up here and we will drag in a cute box. We're going to set this one to be a hole, and by clicking on this little arrow, we're going to set the width to be 140, the length to be 140, and the height to be 140. Then we'll drag in a move command, and we're going to move that box to an X of -74. Then we can go ahead and drag in a create group command. We'll go ahead and drag in another box. This one we'll leave as a solid, and we're going to set the width to be 4, the length is going to be 110, and the height is going to be 75. After that, we'll drag in a move command, and we're going to move it to an X of -2. With that done, we can begin working on the next part of our phone stand, which is going to be the phone holder. To create the phone holder, we'll go back up to our shapes, and we're going to drag in a box. We're going to click this to open up the menu. The width we will leave at 20. The length we are going to be setting to 3.5. And the height we are going to be setting to 75. Then we'll drag in a move command, and we're going to move this to an X of 75, a Y of 59, and Z we will leave at 0. Then we'll go ahead and drag in another box. This one is going to be set to a width of 15, a length of 3.5, and a height of 75. We'll need another move command for this one, and we're going to be moving this one to a X of 81, a Y of 53, and a Z of 0. We'll then drag in a rotate command, and we're going to rotate around the Z axis, and we're going to rotate by 60 degrees. Then we'll drag in a cylinder. We're going to set the radius of our cylinder to be 1.75, and the height is going to be 75. We'll then move this cylinder to an X of 85, a Y of 59, and a Z of 0. Then we'll go ahead and drag in the create group command. With the phone stand done, we can begin working on our next part, which is cable channels. In order to create the cable channels, we'll have to drag in a box. We're going to set this box to be a hole by clicking the gray circle. Then we're going to set the width of our box to be 40, the length will be 10, and the height will be 11. We'll then drag in a move command for this first box, and for the first box, you're going to move to a Y of 53. We'll then go back and drag in a second box. We'll set this one to be a hole as well. And for the second box, the width will be 10, the length will be 14, and the height is going to be 11. The second box will be moved to an X of 0, a Y of 0, and a Z of 0, so it'll stay in place. The third and final box we'll drag in. We'll set it to be a hole by clicking this little circle, and then we're going to set the width to be 25, the length is going to be 8, and the height is going to be 11. For the third box, we'll also need to rotate it. We're going to rotate it on the Z axis, and we're going to rotate it by 60 degrees. Then we'll drag in a move command, and we're going to move this third box to a Y of negative 53. After that, we can drag in a create group command. With the cable channels of our phone stand done, we can begin working on the next part, which is some decorations. In order to decorate and personalize our phone, what we will do is we will go back to our Shapes tab, and we're going to scroll down until we find the text. We're going to click on this, and we're going to set in whatever you'd like for your phone stand. Because Micro Center donated $250 to my classroom, I'm going to name this after them. The only things we're going to have to change is we're going to go over here, and we're going to set the height of this text to be 5. We're going to set the edge to 1, and the edge steps to 1 as well. Then we'll drag in a rotate command, and we're going to rotate on the Y axis by 90 degrees. We'll drag in a second rotate command, and this time we are going to rotate on the X axis by 180 degrees. And we'll drag in a third and final rotate command, and this time we're going to rotate on the Z axis by negative 30 degrees. We'll then drag in a scale command, and we're going to set the scaling to be 0.4. And finally, a move command. We're going to set this text to move to a X of 82.25, a Y of 53, and a Z of 0. With a little bit of decoration done, the last thing that we need to do is add a hole for our charger. In order to do that, we'll go into the shapes and we'll drag in a cylinder. We'll change it into a hole by clicking this gray circle, and then we will set the radius of it to be 50.5. The height will be 7.2, and the sides are going to be 64. We'll then drag in a rotate command, and this first rotate command is going to rotate around the x-axis by 90 degrees. Then we'll drag in a second rotate command, and this time we are going to rotate around the z-axis, and we're going to rotate by 60 degrees. We'll then drag in a move command, and we'll move to an X of 31. And finally, we can drag in a create group command to finish our work. With that done, we can press play, and we can watch the entire phone stand be made. If we turn around to the back, we see our holes for our cable management, and the front we have our text as well as our hole for the wireless charger. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're able to make your own phone stand. If you do, you can check out Micro Center's inland wireless charger. They sell them for $8, and I think this is a fantastic gift that you can make for yourself or for a friend. That being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great night. Bye for now.